Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, and my friends, today we are talking Superman. So there is the new movie coming out, and I figure, okay, there's a lot of hype for Superman, so let's talk some Superman at perhaps some of his most infamous in video game form, and that is in Injustice 1. So to preface this, Superman is my favorite comic book character, straight up. When I was younger in the 90s, I had my edgelord phase. I had my Punisher, my Spawn. You better believe I had all the issues of Venom Lethal Protector. But, overall, Superman, now that I'm older, wiser, maybe not that much wiser, but a little bit wiser, Superman's my boy. But boy, howdy, he's dumb in this game. Like capital D, capital U, capital M, capital B, dumb. For a lot of reasons. This is a dumb game. Yes, that said unblockable. So if you didn't know, stage interactions in this game are straight up unblockable. So there's a lot of situations where you can just kind of die and there's not much you can do about it. You may have heard of Hype Pig. Actually, when I did my greatest fighting game stages of all time, this stage is in the game because specifically of Hype Pig. Because Hype Pig dominates the stage in such a way, he's iconic. There's no other word for it. You may have also heard of the iconic dumpster in Gotham City Alley, because I can just kind of keep throwing this at you, and then you're in the corner, and there's not much you can do about it, because, you'd think you'd want to jump out. That is a way, but there's a plethora of anti-air options, and you'll have this giant unblockable mess coming at you for 20% of your life every couple seconds. That's sort of messed up. Although it's not all bad. You might have heard of Solomon Grundy. It's another video I did some time ago. I think Solomon Grundy is legitimately one of the best designed characters in fighting game history. He is that good and interesting. One of the best designed grapplers in all the history of video games. So there's upsides here. And I know not everyone played Injustice 1. It's an older game now. In fact, it's so old, it's my first ever fighting game guide on YouTube, and that's over a decade ago. So it's been some time. So now here we are, 12 years later. Let's talk about Superman in Injustice 1 again, because boy howdy, he's something else by fighting game standards. A kind of character that just wouldn't be allowed in today's modern FGC and modern FGC games. He was in Injustice 2, he retained a lot of the moveset, but he was a very tame version of himself in Injustice 2 compared to what he used to be. And that's what we're going to talk about and showcase. So what's crazy about Superman? Well, let's just start with some of the basics here, because I do have the benefit of playing here the PlayStation 4 Ultimate Edition with all the patches, and I also have the unpatched original release version of the game, and there's some differences. One of them, let's give you a basic bread and butter combo. All right, so here's a basic B&B for Superman. So not terribly complex. You can see here a lot of corner carry, a lot of damage, huh? 44%. That's for a single bar. This is a game with 4 EX bars. All I did was Ice Breath just to keep the combo going. That's it. 44%. That's a lot. A lot. And this is the patch version. It used to be even more in the original. Now, here we are with the original launch version of the game. Exact same combo. There's going to be a big difference, though, in the damage. It's going to be 53 friggin' percent. Over half your life. Your eyes do not lie. That's not even an optimal combo, by the way. It's been over a decade. I don't remember the optimal combo, to be honest with you. But I don't even need to be optimal to get over 50% on a basic hit confirm combo. So that's sort of messed up, right? Even in the patched, fixed version of the game, quote unquote, it is still like over 40%. And here we are, and that did over 50. And you think, well, okay, well, you're never going to land that combo on a real. No, that's the most basic B&B. That is F23. If you've ever heard of Injustice 1, Superman, you probably heard him called F23 Man, because Superman's F23 in this game legitimately might be the best string in all of fighting game history. Actually. So what's with it, right? So by itself, it's mid. So this is NRS games, you could duck a high, right? But they're both mids, you can't duck this. F2 also hits from roughly round start position, which makes it very good. And it also happens to be his second fastest move. The only move that he has is faster is down one, like a quick down poke jab, right? Besides that, it's 8 frames, So it's his second fastest basic move, which is absolutely ridiculous, right? And it's also a natural launcher. Okay, so here's another fun little bit about it. Well, it's got to be death on block or something. No. It's only -2 on block. And that's actually kind of remained the same. So the base string by itself is lightning fast, very long range for what it is, and launches on regular hit. No counter, no gimmicks needed, and it's also safe on block. It's also very easy to 2-layer hit confirm. So if I see it hit, I go in the trait, and we'll talk about trait in a minute. But very stupid. It's what leads to these nerfed 40+% combos or 50+% at launch, right? And if it's blocked, I can go into Ice Breath. And Ice Breath pushes you back, and pushes you back roughly into, oh, I don't know, say a range of another forward 2. Now you want to see what's really messed up? And this is the nerfed version, by the way. So the nerfed version of Super Breath is 0 on block. So I do this, I see a block, I go into Super Breath, we're 0. Meaning all things equal, most situations, most matchups, I'm always going to win the next thing. So this means, in this situation, you block right, I go into Super Breath, we're 0. Once again, 8-frame startup, and one of the fastest normals in the game. So boom, boom, oh, we're 0, boom, boom, oh, we're 0, boom, boom, oh, we're just rinse, repeat, right? That already seems strong on its surface. Once again, this is the nerfed version. Let me show you how it used to be. So let's do a fighting game classic, the old jump test. So the opposing Superman does Ice Breath, then he jumps, and I jump at the same time. And notice that he jumps so much more before me, because he has a lot more advantage than me. How much advantage? Oh no, what? No, the numbers don't lie. Yes, it used to be impossibly advantage on block. So yes, in the quote-unquote fixed version of the game, it's only merely completely neutral on block when he has one of the most aggressive forward advancing strings that are like a natural launcher, right? And before, if you block this, like, your only real hope was it would always let you just kind of backdash regardless of what the frame data said. So you could always backdash. But other than that, you really couldn't do much. And this is the point where I'll mention that trait we talked about. So the trait does let him just do more damage. Like, here's 4, 2, 3. The 2 base hits is 8%. If I'm in trait, I do them together. Hey, it's 10%. It's a flat damage bonus, which is really good, especially because his zoning was also top tier. So here we are with his basic heat shot, right? Down, back, 3. 12%, over 10% in a single shot, and it knocks down on hit. So if you get knocked down, you're in for a ride, especially because he has multiple layers of zoning. He's got this, the fun old eye laser, which takes up like 75% of the screen. And if you got trade up, all of a sudden, it's now 16% per hit. And you start feeling real dumb every time you get hit by one of these bad boys. Now, to be fair, there's a lot of things that can help. Like, the game does have a lot of universal armor. So if you know something's coming, it doesn't matter which character you are, you can usually armor through it, which is really nice, right? So if you know something really dumb's coming your way, you at least get a hit of armor. The problem with that is the trait. So when you're in trait, Superman breaks all armor. Like, it doesn't matter what it is, he automatically beats it. So if you're like zoning him and you're trying to use armor to get around zoning, cool, it breaks your armor. Lex has a trait that gives him hyper armor. Like, that's one of his big deals, right? That he can hyper armor through stuff. That's kind of a big thing, but I guess this matchup's lore accurate, because even with your hyper armor, Superman just still defeats it in a single hit if he has his trait up. So, tough luck, buddy. Doomsday is another character where he has a trait where it makes him very difficult to stop. Like, I can keep hitting him, but due to the nature of his unique armor, it doesn't actually stop him any, right? But once again here, lore accurate matchups. If Superman has trade up, it destroys all of it on the very first hit of anything he does. So on top of it just being strong as it is, a flat damage buff, it gets around all the universal armor options. Characters that desperately depend on their traits for some form of defense, like Lex, like Doomsday. Well, in the lore, Superman wins these matchups. So that means you don't get to do the thing that makes your character actually work against him. Also, go back to that zoning really quick. In the patch versions of the game, heat lasers have a lot more recovery. Like, This is already fairly spammable as it is. It used to be more so. So think about that. So let's just keep this train of insanity going, right? So let's talk about Superman's super move. You know, he's Superman, right? Probably should have a good super move. And boy, howdy. So here we are. You can see here 5 frames startup. And it's a really good kind of 5 frame startup because it's a great gotcha. In that, okay, here we are. I enter my move, I grab you, then we're going for the ride, right? And suitably impressive. Like, at the time, these were really, really cool supers. Especially like stuff like the Flash. So, and 34%. For a gotcha, that's not bad. Like, you know, say I catch you, oh, you tossed a fireball, gotcha, right? And that's it, you're done. And that's a very healthy amount of damage to take for just a pure reaction check, almost full screen super, right? Like a lot. 34% for that, just because like, oh, he did the fireball, you're dead, right? And keep in mind, there's no motions in Justice 1. You just gotta hit 2 buttons together for the super. So that's huge. Now, what if I told you this is the impossibly heavily nerfed version of the move? Because it is. So here we are again, how it used to be. And of course, you know, visually, it looks all the same. That's all well and good. One thing you might notice out of the gate is it did more damage. That's the least of it, but it did more damage. It did 38%. And just flat 4% more on an amazing reaction check move is not nothing. But notice that first little bit there too. Another big difference is when he hits you, oh, what does it say right there? Yeah, this wasn't a mid. This was an overhead. So we have a full screen armored overhead super. It's only 5 frame startup. Oh wait, no. The nerfed version starts up in 5 frames. This version, the original, starts up in 2 frames. And on top of faster startup, it also traveled faster too. So what does that mean? Well, let's give you a nice little example here. Say I blocked a fireball from full screen. Oh, okay. You're dead. This is actually how this works. If I blocked a projectile from literally full screen, you screwed up. If I have my super, it's game over for you. And this is the case for a lot of the best moves in the game. If I block them almost anywhere on screen, and in many cases exactly full screen, I win. You're dead. To call this a checkmate is underselling it. This is no longer a fighting game match. We're in an active hostage situation. If I have full meter as Superman, legitimately you cannot do pretty much half of your offense anymore. It's not just that I react to your move, right? That's one thing. You did something, I react to it. That's classic fighting games. It's that you did something and I blocked it, and for many times from literally full screen. And if I blocked it from full screen, you screwed up. Sort of a messed up situation, I think you'd agree, right? And like the only reason I wouldn't have my 4 bars for a super is if I just hit you with 1 bar, 1 EX for my 50+% basic B&B combo, right? And once again, that super almost says 40% pre-nerf as well. So it's difficult because he outzoned you. Well, outzoned most of the cast anyways. He certainly out-neutraled most of the cast with the absolutely ridiculous 4-2-3. And also, the post-patch version, they also nerfed the hitbox on it. So even though it hits from like effectively round start, it actually still was better yet in the original version, right? So he outzoned you, he had better neutral than you, he could easily react check you on anything with a super for insane damage. It was an overhead too, because why not just start tossing stuff onto the pile? And like, there's a lot of stuff that never got nerfed. Like just like basic stuff, like it has Scoop. Scoop is a meterless launcher. It's a special move, right? So I can go 2-2 Scoop. Mid, low. Okay, better block low. Good thing 2-2-3 is an overhead that launches. What? So even like a basic string comes with like a effective 50-50 attached to it. And of course, you know, we're NRS. We're famous for our 50-50s. That's the name of the game. But that's just part of the base move set. That never even got changed. And that's kind of the crazy thing. So Superman at launch, undeniably the best character. But, you know, there was people added after launch, like, say, the Martian Manhunter, like, say, Scorpion, and they were all really messed up in their own ways. Like, Scorpion has the famous Scorpion Teleport. Okay, makes sense, right? You expect Scorpion to have the classic moveset. Nothing wrong with that. Except this is a back-to-block game. This is not a whole block button game like Mortal Kombat. So this has been heavily nerfed multiple times because this didn't really work in a back-to-block game, because the fact that a lot of Mortal Kombat moves are balanced are the fact that you have a block button, that cross-ups aren't really a thing. So if I could just cross-up you kind of anywhere at a moment's notice, that was sort of messed up, and that had to be nerfed. And a lot of this video is talking about Superman at the peak of his power, before all the nerfs. Martian Manhunter debatably is just as strong as Superman before all the nerfs, or maybe even stronger yet. This was not a game famous for its balance. You might have heard the term kusoge, and we use that with the most warmest of thoughts, because, you know, a lot of people Injustice 1 was not the best game. It definitely wasn't, but goddamn, it was a fun game, man. Injustice 2 is a fun game too, but it didn't hit as hard. One of the things I'll give Injustice 1, it was a poorly balanced mess of a game, sure, but it was fun, which is great. And it had so many great ideas. Like, characters like no one plays like Batman in any other game. Like, we don't have anything else like Flash, Grundy, Doomsday. Like, there's so many truly Bane with the whole Venom mechanic. There's so many characters that play like nothing else ever in the history of fighting games, right? So maybe this was like a dumb, broken, bad game in a lot of ways, but goddamn, it was a fun game. And if we ever get around to Injustice 3, I hope they take some of the breaks off of it. Because Injustice 2 had its own problems too, don't get me wrong, right? But it wasn't quite as wild and carefree as Injustice 1. And maybe we'll get there again. But yeah, so that's kind of Superman in a nutshell. He's still, you know, even in the most, not recent, it's not a new game anymore, but in the most recent patches, he's still strong enough. He's not one of the strongest characters, not like Martian Manhunter or Batgirl or whatever, but still plenty strong. But man, at launch, he was broken in a way that few characters in fighting game history ever were. And I hope this video served as a little bit of history lesson on that front. So if you can ever find your old 360 or PlayStation 3 discs of Injustice, boot it up, make sure you don't patch it, and see what some real fighting game fun's all about. But other than all that, my friends, that is the end of the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Injustice if Injustice 3 ever shows up, and otherwise go out and play some fighting games.